Hello everybody, this is Moses from Zaatar Gardens. There's Lulu right there. And we're going to go take a look at my Mexicola avocado. We'll do both avocados, I suppose. Here's Zutano. There's not much to it right now, so that's why I didn't really want to talk about it. First year in the 1 year in the ground now. Yeah, 1 year exactly, actually. A little bit over a year. I would say it's a year and a month. But did really well in the summer. Lost a lot of its branches. In the summer, I've noticed with avocados newly planted that, I don't know, maybe it does it on purpose, or it's from my poor stewardship of the plant, but it just drops its branches. So you can see 1, 2, and go all the way down. You can see these branches that drop, but it didn't drop all of them. So, but it's doing well. Didn't cover it for the winter. I think maybe when it got to 29, I just draped over a burlap over it just in case, but it didn't really need it. So it's a good variety. A lot better than a Haas would do, of course, in my climate, Central California Zone 9B, but it did really well. And this is the Mexicola avocado I planted October 2015. So it used to be about 8 feet tall. I cut it back to get a bushier growth in the center, and you can see it's just pushing a lot of flowers every end. I did a quick video. Well, I did a quick video within a video. I did a tour, and I talked about this avocado. So it's for anyone that watched the tour. There's not much new to this tree. But what I have noticed with this tree lately, this year compared to last, there's a lot less leaf drop. Typically with Mexicola avocado, my experience, March, it dropped a lot of yellowing of leaves and it drops them. So you see right here, if it could drop, yeah. So it just drops it off. This year it didn't do as much. I only see maybe 20 or 30 on the ground compared to how many there were. Not much. So, and then you might say right now, well, Moses doesn't look that full. Well, last year I kind of dropped the ball on it. I went through my wife being pregnant, and then the baby came later in the year. I focused more on my family than my garden. Most of my garden, like 95% of it, didn't even matter if I was there or not. But avocados, if I had a mangoes and things like that, need more attention. So I didn't give it enough attention, and it did suffer for that. I'm just lucky I did do whitewashing around the whole tree before I neglected it. But this year, it'll be so full this year, just like years past, except for last year, that you won't even be able to see through. So you can see all of the peach and everything else, the grass. You won't even be able to see. It'll look like a jungle. It'll just be all green and all flowers. Just amazing. And I'll put a link in the screen where it'll be right over here or here, so you can see years past videos of how full this tree can get and how much flower production you can get when you put a heavy amount of wood chips and you foliar your feed with seaweed and fish. Now with this area, out of all the areas in my garden, my backyard garden, my side yard garden, my whole front yard garden, where I produce 95% of my plants are edible, this area has the most wood chips. Now I would say degraded down. It's 2 feet worth of wood chips. So there's some places in here, if I walk over here, you'll bounce when you're walking. You know, if you dig down with your hands, it just gets darker and darker and moist, full of earthworms and mycelium. Really dense stuff. And the biggest mushrooms that I have in my garden are around this area. And that's why you see how dark and big my parsleys get, because the soil is so rich. Now there's a squirrel went in through the yard, so all the dogs are going crazy right now. The squirrel likes to run through the fence, and that's what Lulu's doing right now. In my experience in Central California Zone 9B, you don't need a type A, which this is, Mexicola, and a type B, which the Zutano is, to cross-pollinate. I have successfully had fruit come harvested from this tree, and I'll link that in the top over here somewhere on the screen, where you can see where I harvest avocados from this tree. But my suggestion would be to plant both type A and type B if you have the space. Even if you keep just the type B or even the type A in a pot and just bring it when it's flowering, bring it next to the in-ground avocado and let it cross-pollinate that way. It's just worth it. You'll get better production and bigger fruit. If I had only a peach when I first started, let's say, and I just had a peach and there was no other stone fruit, which I did have, it wouldn't have that much production, even though it was self-fertile. But when I had another variety of peach that can cross-pollinate with it, I had more fruit production and bigger fruit and tastier fruit. So I would suggest planting type A and type B if you can, even if one has to be in a pot. Let me know in the comments, by the way, if you have any other questions on Mexicola, or any avocado tree. This is the most requested videos I get all the time, is avocado. Avocado. Let me back up. And it just keeps getting asked and asked and asked. I don't know why, really. I think it's because people really want an avocado tree, but it's also like bragging rights, I think. Not everybody, but this is pretty good for bragging, saying that I have an avocado, and every time that happens, if I do a tour of my garden, hey, does anybody want to see an avocado flower, or the flowers of an avocado, or an avocado tree? And they're like, no way. You have an avocado? Always. Even I've had one where a nursery owner would be flabbergasted when I showed him that my avocado actually produced fruit. And it's not that hard, everyone, as long as you mimic nature. It's not impossible. There are other gardeners in the Central Valley here in California that have successfully grown avocados. Okay? But they're coming from the notion of you got to fertilize with Miracle-Gro. You got to take out the wood chips out of the garden because wood chips tie up nitrogen and so forth and so forth. Let me just pan up for a second here. Let me pan up. So when the soil is healthy and has a good amount of nitrogen, things get greener and grow faster, correct? Well, I'm going to just pan up quietly. Tell me if you see any nitrogen deficiencies. I can't see any. Let me know in the comment section if you have any other questions. And follow me on Instagram. I'm on there constantly, posting like crazy. Probably 10 things a day on stories in my own feed or responding to comments. And that's where you could DM me too. On YouTube you can't DM. So if you're following me for a lot of years, subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Head over to Instagram. You can just DM me directly. It's like text messaging. All right, everybody. Happy gardening.